Very impressive stuff then from Barca, comfortably through to the next round. Right, how do we assess this, Ali, considering how harsh you were on Barca after that defeat the weekend against Valencia? How much does this make up for it? How much do we see an improvement? How much is this Setien starting to take hold of this side?
Right. The best thing that could have happened to this team in today's game was an early goal. The second best thing that could have happened to this team is an early goal by Antoine Griezmann down the middle of the field, where he's actually in a center forward position, where he's actually receiving the ball in an area in which he can impact the game and score goals for Barcelona. Now, you may think that's not a big deal because this is Leganes, this is Copa del Rey, what have you. It is important because then you saw from Antoine Griezmann throughout the course of the first half moments in which he was making runs in those very same positions, whether it was hold-up play and then he found Arturo Vidal running in behind, or whether him getting in behind and creating an opportunity around the 25th minute, goalkeeper makes a save. Here's the point. They need Antoine Griezmann to be a presence there in the middle. They need him to be an option. They need him to score goals from those sort of areas because he doesn't have the freedom to go wherever he wants to. There's only one guy in this team that has that freedom, and that's Lionel Messi. So if Griezmann takes himself into wide areas or works underneath and there's nobody taking that central position, then nobody occupies the center backs. And if nobody occupies the center backs, people focus on Lionel Messi and he takes space away from Lionel Messi. Antoine Griezmann must be able to occupy the center backs, move them around so that then Lionel Messi can work the underneath spaces. If that happens with Barcelona, they become a lot more effective in the attack, they become a lot more dynamic, and to that end, the possession today had a purpose, which was not the case in the weekend. Today, the possession was going forward first, not backwards and sideways, forward first. Let's find spaces over there, and let's keep the pressure on Leganes. They never allow Leganes to breathe.
I think it's huge Griezmann scores, as you said. But the other thing is, you have to give them credit because some of the goals came from the type of play that we expect. You know, balls through from De Jong, Rakitic through to Messi, a little 1-2, Semedo gets in when Griezmann gets his goal. That's the Barcelona that we know, and that's the Barcelona we've been asking to see. So the only thing, you can say whether it's Leganes or not, but they haven't been doing this against weaker teams anyway. The fact that they've done it tells you that it's there. They just have to get some consistency and do it every game.
Julien, as I mentioned, with us. Jules, obviously, you follow Griezmann throughout his career. Can he do what Ali is expecting him to do, to be that disciplined?
Yeah, I think he can. I think it was always going to take time for him and Messi to sort of get that partnership together, understanding each other's movement. And I don't think it's easy to play with Messi, maybe because he drops deep so much, because he does kind of whatever he wants on that pitch, which is normal because he's the best. And I think Griezmann always would have needed some time to just adjust and adapt to that. And I think in a way that the injury to Suarez is a good thing for Griezmann because that enables him to play in that central position, like Ali said, to be able to be a presence there and show that he can also work with Messi and someone else on the other side. Ansu Fati in today's game, for example, it would be Dembele one day and it could be someone else as well. And I think that was very important. Also, the goal for his confidence. I like the fact as well that Setien went to a back four and sort of dropped for now at least the back three that I think he went far too early with as soon as he took over. And I don't think the team was ready. I'm not even sure they have the personnel and the players to do that back three like the way he wants them to do. So I think there was certainly a lot of positive from that back four to Griezmann in the performance tonight.
In layman's terms, boys, obviously, from playing the game, from the outside, I think Griezmann is going to line up with Lionel Messi. It's going to be so much easier for him than it was in Atleti because the quality now that he's got around him. Why is it difficult and why have we seen in the past some players struggle to get that connection with Messi when, in theory, surely playing with the best player in the world should be a luxury?
Well, I think above everything else, when you get a player as a coach, you have to put him in a position where he's going to succeed. And if you're going to take somebody like Griezmann and start him off wide, then number one, you're not putting him in a position to succeed. Then he's going to be trying to do things that he doesn't normally do. Then there's no way he's going to have a connection with anybody, never mind Lionel Messi, because as great as Lionel Messi is, he still needs to have an understanding of what's going on and his teammates' brain. And so now that you've got a chance to get this guy in the middle, you got to stick with it. That's the key. You got to stick with it, and you got to keep talking to Griezmann and tell him to stay there. Then you'll get an understanding, not just with Messi, but with everybody else.
I think what has happened with a lot of players that come and play alongside Lionel Messi is that wherever they were before they came to Barcelona, they were the guy. They were the player.
Yep.
They were the angular piece.
Coutinho, great example of that.
We are depending on you to make the difference. You come to Barcelona and you're not the guy. And you're not going to be the guy. And so now you're trying to sort of please Lionel Messi because you want that relationship to work. So you're kind of catering to Messi. And in doing that, you forget about the things that make you the impactful, game-changing player that you were before you came to Barcelona. And in catering to somebody else, you don't have that edge, that arrogance that made you that player. Finding that medium, finding that balance between having a relationship with Messi and understanding that having a relationship with Messi is going to make the game for you easier, and also understanding and having the patience that let that guy carry the load.
Right.
Let Messi be Messi. Let me just be the other guy. I can be the other guy because half of the time I'm either going to be in 1v1 situations or I'm going to be wide open because people are paying attention to him. So I'm not going to participate nearly as much in the game, but I'm going to find myself in better positions. That patience, it's hard to have when you have been the guy wherever you have been before. Finding that balance is the key for all of those players.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN+.